This is my treatment presentation for my media coursework. So the title of my project is going to be Neighbourhood Watch, because there's like recurrent themes of paranoia within the neighbourhood, and it sort of represents the irony that Neighbourhood Watch refers to like a community of people protecting the neighbourhood from crime, but the actual antagonist is going to be the neighbourhood itself. I created a mood board of images to give you a sense of what the project's going to be about. The genre of my film is going to be horror, and I'm going to follow these conventions, use dark lighting, low notes during the music, and stereotypical lighting for the audience. I'm going to use royalty-free horror music because I can't compose the music myself, so I'm going to find a website that uses community-made music. The sequence of my opening credit sequence is going to be a fade in from black with a panning shot of the neighbourhood. Then I'm going to cut to a montage of clips of newspaper headlines, murder weapons, and disorienting shots of the neighbourhood. Then I'm going to fade to black at the end, and the title will appear on the screen. The representation in my film credit sequence is going to be LGBTQ+ community, because the protagonist identifies as bisexual. People from this minority in horror are normally represented as quite weak, and they're usually the first person to die. So by making this the protagonist, I'm subverting these stereotypes. The atmosphere of my opening credit sequence is going to be generally dark lighting, maybe filmed during night times. I'm going to use echoing notes in the audio, and I'm going to use jump cuts and fast-paced clips to create a sense of uncertainty and disorientation. The target audience is going to be older teens and existing fans of like the horror genre, because it'll be more relatable for the teens in the audience because the protagonist will be a teenager themselves. I'm going to use locations like where I live because it's easier to film during, and it's easier for transportation for the cast involved. These are some images taken. My film opening credit sequence is heavily inspired by Halloween and films such as Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, because of the perspective of the teenagers in the horror film. And I've also taken crime thriller aspects from Seven and Zodiac. That's the end. Any questions?
What is it about Halloween that inspires this particular project? What kind of influences are you taking from that film?
So in Halloween, the main story of it is that there's a serial killer on the loose in the neighbourhood, and that's going to be a major theme of my film. So it's quite closely related.
And you've also got the kind of the very typical, like, I suppose, very relatable location of like a street or a road or something, and again Halloween set in that very kind of that sort of close-knit community, so there's elements of bringing that in there as well. Okay. Any other questions?
What time frame are you planning to get this all finished by, roughly?
I'll probably start filming within like the next week, and then I'll rely heavily on editing, so that'll probably take quite a while. Hopefully finishing editing in like a month.